Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making a delicious chicken cordon bleu. So let's get started. First off, preheat your oven to 375, and now in a shallow baking dish, I'm adding 1 1/4 cups of panko breadcrumbs. This chicken has a golden, crunchy exterior, and that's coming from panko and of course, a bit of butter. To the breadcrumbs, I'm adding half a teaspoon of salt, along with a 1/4 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. If you want to add some more fun spices, have at it. This is your dish, and really this can be packed with flavor on the outside and inside. I have about 2 tablespoons of melted butter. Just drizzle that over the panko. We're gonna give this a good toss so all the breadcrumbs are nicely coated. So much easier with your hands. For the next step, you're gonna want a sharp knife. So really, dull knives are not your friend in the kitchen. If you have a sharpener, I would have at it for a minute just so you can do this next step easily. 1 chicken breast, and we're gonna butterfly it. My mom loves butterflying chicken breasts. There's so many different fillings to add in. Just go right down the middle, but you're not cutting it into 2. You're stopping at one of the long ends so it can become a book of chicken, a chicken book. You can open your chicken breast up and just cut a little bit more if needed. It's easier to cut less than cut more. You're gonna butterfly your remaining chicken breasts, and if you wanna scale this recipe up, you can double it so easily and feed a big group of people. Grab another sheet of parchment paper or plastic, and we're gonna pound this to a nice even 1/4 of an inch. You want this to bake really evenly, so nothing's over baking and nothing is raw. So, gently pound. If you really go to town, you'll break the breast. This was one of the dishes my mom would make us occasionally, but I will tell you her favorite is chicken à l'archiduc, which I can make on the channel if you guys want. Now, for the fun part, actually the pounding was pretty fun too, but the filling is gonna be great as well. We're gonna grab Swiss cheese, and I wanna make this clear. Some of these chicken breasts are massive, and some of them are like a normal size. So you can totally cover the chicken with as much filling as you want. Here I have a couple of gaps. I'm just gonna have Swiss cheese, just like that. Adding a nice amount of Swiss cheese to give some good coverage, and then it's time for the ham. You can use any ham you want. If you wanted to go and get that delicious spiral cut ham with the sugar crust and have slices of that in there, I love that for you. Did you know that people speak French in Switzerland? This is actually a Swiss dish, and the name first appears in the 40s. It's like a type of stuffed schnitzel, basically, before that. And I think it became popular or became known here in the 60s. Now we're gonna roll this up. And you can use some toothpicks if you wanna just close this up so we know that it's not gonna unroll. It's probably gonna be okay, but who wants to take chances? And don't forget to remove the toothpick at the end of this video. Don't forget. So when my mom made tacos, we deep fried them, and you put the meat filling on the inside and you close the tortilla up, and she and her sisters would always toothpick them closed. And then you just had to remember to take the toothpicks out at the very end of the deep fry. It's one of my childhood memories. My chicken's all rolled up. Now we're gonna set up a dredging station and get to work. So we already have 1 shallow dish with our panko. That's ready to go. But in the first one, I want about 1/3 of a cup of flour. Just gonna eyeball that. In my second dish, you probably guessed, 2 eggs beaten up. 1 and 2. Just give these a little whisk. Now we're gonna take our chicken breasts through the dredging station, and they're gonna end up on a rimmed baking sheet with a wire rack inside. That's what they're gonna bake in, so it's nice and crisp all the way around. Roll this in the flour, and then we're gonna move along. A lot of us have our chicken dishes that we make on repeat, and we get kind of bored of them. So I was like, what else can I make? But it's still gonna be easy. And this packs such a punch with the flavor. The sauce we make comes together in less time than the baking, of course, so it all is ready at the same time. Only has a few ingredients that you can get at the grocery store really easily, and it's delicious. So after a little roll in the egg wash, the egg is the glue that's gonna hold our delicious panko breadcrumbs on. End up in the panko mixture, and we're just going to completely coat this. So that's the golden ticket. And these breadcrumbs, because of the butter, are gonna pick up so much color and look really beautiful when they end up baking. It's best to like scoop the panko on and press it down so you have a really great layer. This guy goes right over there. If you're worried about these guys unraveling, my mom's secret is just to have the cut side down where you'd have the toothpick. So gravity will just hold it together during the bake and it'll firm up. It won't fall apart or anything like that. This is just my insurance policy. Okay, these guys are almost ready to go into the oven. I'm gonna just sprinkle the last of the panko crumbs right over the top so they get all of those buttery, crunchy, delicious moments. And now these can go into the oven, 375 for 35 to 45 minutes. It totally depends on the size of your chicken breast, your oven, and the temperature of the chicken. I'm gonna bake mine until a thermometer reads 165 at the deepest part of the chicken. I'll keep an eye on it. Just before your chicken's ready, we are gonna make a delicious and really easy cream sauce. Starting off with 2 tablespoons of butter right into a pan. Place that over medium heat and get it nice and melty. Melty. While the butter melts, you should make sure you have everything else measured out for this because it's really quick. 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of Dijon, and a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan. And don't forget 1 cup of milk, bonus points if you warm it up. All right, butter's all melted. I'm gonna sprinkle the flour in and cook for about a minute while I whisk, whisk, whisk. This is a roux. It's the base of almost every delicious sauce, including like a nice white bechamel sauce, which is basically what we're making with some delicious additions in the form of mustard and Parmesan. All right, so mix, mix, mix. I wanna cook the flour so it doesn't have that flour taste and it's also safe to eat. And this will be the amazing base that thickens everything up. Okay, now, slowly drizzle the milk in while whisking vigorously. Whisk, whisk. If you see some lumps, don't worry, that's what your whisk is for. Whisk your little heart out. Once your milk is fully incorporated and those little lumps are gone, we're gonna add our Dijon and then really whisk vigorously. I don't want the sauce to break and the whisking is the key to make that magical dream come true of no breaking sauce. Look how nice this is. I'm reducing heat to medium-low. And now we're gonna whisk constantly for a few minutes just until it's thickened up nicely. Really, it depends on you. This sauce could be ready to serve. It's just a little bit more slack. If you want it to be a bit more like tight and kind of cheesy in consistency, you're gonna cook it down for a couple more minutes. As soon as you're happy with the consistency of your sauce, take it off heat. And we're gonna take our little angel flakes of Parmesan and just whisk those in, and they'll melt right away. Do you see how easy that sauce was? It was like, oh, it's done. And now we have a delicious, like fancy seeming chicken that has the breaded crispy crust, that gooey center with this amazing flavorful white cream sauce. Right out of the oven, pour the sauce onto the chicken and you're ready to enjoy. That is perfectly cooked chicken with that gooey cheese inside, a kick of flavor from the ham, and those breadcrumbs are crunchy and magnificent. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and if you like this video, check out my dinner playlist.